All right. End of the month. Better roll crafting check. That has to be worse than a nat one. Hello there, I'm Bob the Fool, and this is my vlog for doing my artsy stuff. Tried to do this monthly, didn't do it last month. Which is a lie. I actually did record what I had done last month, but I didn't have enough time this month to edit it. So, yeah. I ran out of a lot of time between the 2 months. I didn't get a whole lot done, but hey, I can go at least through what little bits I've gotten done and what I've started. So I did manage to finish the harvester. I did manage to finish the harvester. I'm pretty happy with him. He's painted up in a style in order to match some of my Mortis Guard, because I have 2 of them, and I want them to have an entourage of Mortis Guard to go with them when I play games. I got that guy done. So the other thing I finished up was my Flaming Skull. Now, I didn't have a whole lot to do on this guy, I just had to do the base. I tried painting the flock and stuff around the flames black to make it feel like it was being burnt or anything like that. Maybe I should have gave it a bit of an OSL. Either way, I'm gonna walk away from it at this point. This is the endless spell I'll be taking because it's the cheapest one and I have just enough points open to grab an endless spell, so I said why the hell not. Almost concludes a WYSIWYG 2000 point army. So what I need now is a single Morghast. I actually have the first of the 2 pair painted. The second one I have started, but I do have him in a little container, which is where I store my random bits when I'm in between projects, basically. So I'll work on him hopefully during April. I'm not expecting it though, but I'm being hopeful that I can work on him during. Despite getting these 2 things done, I didn't do the smart thing and clean off my painting table and set up for photos. I do have a backlog of stuff I need to take photos of to put up on Instagram and things like that. Originally, I was thinking about doing the tutorial of how I painted up my harvester, but I want to take like individual like shots of the paints and a decent resolution so that way you can read what paints I'm using, what company they're from, things like that. And in order for me to do that, I want to do that with my nice photography setup, which I didn't set up because I didn't do it. So I'm at this point thinking of not doing the tutorial. I don't think I'm gonna end up doing tutorials. I like the idea of doing tutorials, and I like the idea of giving back to the community in that aspect, but don't have the amount of free time to do a once-a-month vlog, let alone start doing tutorials and how to mix and things like that in my experiments. So I'm just gonna, you guys are gonna be along for the ride, kind of passively on it. Now I do have the entire model of the harvester painted up, so I'm thinking about doing a time lapse of that paint job, because why not? Thinking about reading some of the details on the harvester from the actual Bone Reaper rulebook. I think the Bone Reapers have a really cool lore going for them, and there's not a lot of people who do lore stuff for Age of Sigmar. Mind you, I'm mainly a Death player. I don't know a whole lot about the other factions, but I want to share this thing I enjoy. I don't know how else to put it. So yeah, those are the finished models. Everything else is now in whip status. Finished drawing, I do have a single fin. This one right here. We'll get a nice shot of it now. So this is my fiance's current D&D character, who is obviously a elven druid. Well, obviously an elf, but also a druid. She requested Link's hat when I was trying to give her character a ponytail, which I found cute and adorable. Like, she's like, "Oh, are you gonna give her Link's hat?" I'm like, "I wasn't, but I can now." The little house on the staff thing, that is a magic item that our DM gave her. That's a staff that grows out into a tree house at a slow enough rate that like it can push things back. I think once every every 2 rounds, like 5 feet. But it's not like there's a tree here now. It makes a little tree house that we use kind of as our base of operations, and that is her character's actual house because she came into the game with it. I'm really happy with this drawing because I struggle so goddamn much to draw women, and I actually feel like I did a very decent job at it. So I'm excited and proud. On to whips, I guess. So work of progresses. So I got the bad guys out of Mice and Mystics. I was immediately wanting to paint them up. We cleared off a space to start playing board games again, and I was like, oh, I really want to play Mice and Mystics. I got all the heroes painted up, and I haven't painted up any of the villains. I have the rats and the bugs mostly done at this point. So what I need to do, the rats. I gotta finish off the teeth, really. I'm planning on throwing a wash on the teeth, and that's it. That's them done after that. I don't have a whole lot to do. There's a couple spots I might do a bit of touch-ups on. I think some of them I want to do a bit more shading and highlighting on the tails and the nose and the ears and things like that. But the rats are basically done. They still need work, but they're basically done. Bugs are in a different state. So on the bugs, I need to paint up their wings still. So I'm gonna finish all of the colored bands and the eyes. If you notice on the rats, I also did the shoulder pads, because it's on this side for them, in a color on their sword. Actually, it has a different highlight color because I have a bunch of different bright colored metallic paints. Why not? And that's so that way we can tell kind of what we're thinking or planning when we're actually playing the game a bit better. It's much easier to go, okay, I want to attack the red bug, than it is to go, oh yeah, I'm just gonna attack some of the mice on the board. Which ones, I don't know. That's a problem I've always had as a DM as well. So I'm actually quite happy with how they came out. I'm quite happy with the way the different colors are working. So it works out for me. So I'm not going to complain. Now I do still have the 2 big bugs to do for the box. The kind of pseudo bosses or mini bosses out of Mice and Mystics. I don't know. I'll probably get to them this month. They're probably. Well, I'm not probably. They are my next thing because I want to completely finish these guys off, and then I want to try to seal everything, which is going to take a bit. Yada yada yada. I want to make sure that the pieces are protected, especially since they're going in a box that's going to rattle around and stuff. Next up on whips is this block. So this is a block of wood and resin, because I'm playing with some resin lately. So this is meant to be a plinth for my little goblin bust that I painted up back in November for my birthday. Back when I was live streaming, did a 10-hour live stream just painting up this guy. I'm really happy with this bust. I actually really enjoyed the bust. I really like it. I love the way the paints came out, and I want to give it a little plinth to sit on. And I didn't want to do kind of like a boring plinth, so I decided I wanted to try to make one out of a couple pieces of leftover wood that I had, and some resin, and I have some complaints about my resin. So I'm getting this like fogging stuff on it, and I don't know why. I wish I did. I'm thinking it's because there's micro bubbles that are in the resin that's showing up that there's a higher concentration in that area, but it could also just be shitty sanding from me. So I'm gonna try not jumping so heavily in my grades of sandpaper. I'm gonna get a massive range of them, and then do a nice little sand and polish of this block before I drill a hole to put a I have a brass rod to actually attach my little guide to. Other things I have is a little soap container. Whee! It's an owl! Ah! The paint started shipping on this guy shortly after we bought him at the top, so I decided, you know what, I'm going to paint him myself. So he is mostly painted up in actually oil paints, minus some of the coloring on the wings and the eyes. So because the eyes and the wings are glow in the dark. This is actually painted on with eye polish, or not eye polish. Painted on with eye polish. Painted on with nail polish, glow in the dark nail polish. It's about 5 or 6 coats on this guy. And then I had some glow in the dark acrylic paints that I have kind of used as highlights on them. I do want to do a couple more layers on them, and I do have to paint the guy's butt still. However, I'm pretty happy with how he's gonna come out, and then I'm planning on coating him in heavy-duty varnish for floors, so that way the soap doesn't eat through the paint, because I'm a little bit worried. I have the idea of Dawn soap, or just hand soap in general, being able to cut through oil, probably because of all the commercials that they did of Dawn soap helps fight oil spills in the ocean. Very noble thing, but makes me worried that the oil paint's going to come off with the soap. And I used oil paint so that way the water wouldn't take it off. So yeah, so I got a little bit to go on this guy, and then he gets to get sealed up and gets thrown into my back into my bathroom. He's actually been out of commission for about 6 months, because I'm not very I haven't been very protective on my soap dispenser, simply because lazy. I mean, that's the easiest way to put it. I'm lazy. So other whips, other things I'm trying to do, projects, random projects that I'm trying to work on right now is I've been trying to make dice. Now I started this process probably mid to early February, and I haven't tried it again since then. So I had tried to make dice out of these dice molds that I have. That I bought from Green Stuff World, because hey, I wanted to make dice. I wanted to make a whole bunch of dice for a variety of reasons. You know, I play D&D, I play wargaming. You know, it'd be fun to have some custom dice made by me. Now the thing with these dice is that you get the little mold part here, and you get the little lid. So what I had done on my first try was I filled this part with resin, and then I tried to slot the lid in like an idiot, and that squished and squooshed a whole bunch of things. I made a massive mess. I have a footage of that mess. That's where the half-finished dice I had came from as well. You got a couple of cool random things out of it, but that was about it. Now, I don't have those dice anymore on me, because what I did, it's behind me. Yeah, I got a little station doing resin pours behind me now. To try to seal these so that way they don't slide all over the place, I used little blue poster tack to get all the ones that aren't cubes to sit in place. So I want to try doing a couple more experiments with resin, to see if I can not get the horrible bubble problem that I got my first time around. I also want to try to do some like half pours to see how that goes. Do like one half one color, one half another color. I want to try a lot of stuff with the dice. It's gonna take a while, and I need a couple of things set aside and ready to go before I start really diving heavily into it. Mostly that I need a better way of measuring things instead of eyeballing them. And I need better ventilation, or just it to be nice enough outside for me to do it outside. Now the little tray I have is nice because it contains everything so it doesn't get everywhere if anything spills. So hopefully I'll make some dice. Goals for this next month is to try to finish off the enemies for Mice and Mystics. Once those are done, I will try to get some of the stuff for my Bone Reapers done. So I don't remember if I talked about this or not, but for my Bone Reapers, I was doing a thing where I would break up batch painting or troop type models or big models like the Harvesters with a hero model in between. It's a refreshing way to get through an army, I have found, and it lets me focus and still kind of changes my mindset between trying to paint a lot of things quickly in batch painting, which is horribly daunting, and trying to take my time and paint one specific model very carefully and calmly. So what I've been doing is I've been taking the individual models that go on Catacross's base, after doing Catacross's base by itself, mind you, and I've been doing the individual models for the base as breakups for larger projects and things like that. I've worked it out so that way after I finish my Morghast, I'll actually paint Catacross himself. Before I start the Morghast, I need to take some time finishing the paint job of the samurai dude, because I have him mostly painted, and I just need to do a couple of touch-ups here and there on him, and then go from there. Project. So after the Morghast, I'll probably hit May. Fair. To be fair, I'll probably get about halfway through the Morghast, and then May will hit, and I'll be like, I have no time. But if I manage to finish the Morghast in April, I'm going to be jumping to another project. I want to make some miniature furniture for Scattered Terrain and for D&D. Mostly because in D&D I really like the idea of being able to flip a table and hide behind it, things like that. So those are my next goals. But once the Morghast is done, and I actually have Catacross completely done, I actually have Nagash primed now, because we had a nice enough day for me to do it. So I'm possibly going to start Nagash soon, TM, in the summer. Nagash is probably going to take me about 4 months to paint. I don't plan on fielding him. Don't get me wrong. Lovely model. Great rules. Half your army. He's over 1,000 points. But I do plan on painting him up in the motif of my Bone Reapers. Actually planning on doing is for my other death armies, once I've gotten to a capstone event where I stop and go, okay, I've capped off this army where I want it to be. No, I don't plan on painting anything else or buying anything else, which is where I'm at with the Bone Reapers. I don't have any Immortus Guard, and I think I don't have the named guy on horse. But I'm okay with that. That lets me walk away and stop and go, okay, I'm very happy with where this army is. This gives me options for playing against players, things like that. I might at some point pick up either some more Stalkers or some Immortus Guard. I really like the Stalkers rules-wise. I really love their models, their Goro bodies, things like that. I think they're goofy as shit and fun. I might buy a second catapult to fuck with people. I might just finish capping off my Mortis Guard and getting more harvesters to get the other weapon options, because I didn't magnetize anything, because fuck that. I don't plan on doing any of those things, so I'm not gonna worry about it. And I'm honestly not expecting new models for the Bone Reapers to come out until probably 2025, 2026. There's usually a 5 to 6 year gap for most things GW does, unless you're in for Age of Sigmar. If you're in 40k, there's sometimes a 20-year gap for when you get new stuff. Looking at you, Dark Eldar, who just got a new kill team, nothing else. My knowledge. I need to double check that. I know normal craft worlds are getting stuff. I don't think the Dracaria are getting anything. For some odd reason, 40k is expansive enough that they don't want to do new things for it. For most factions, they're waiting till old models basically become dead commodities, and then they'll refresh them with a newer face, basically. I think that's it. I think that's my goals and my plans for the relative future. I can't think of anything else that I want to talk about or go on about or anything like that. Yeah, no, that's it. That's all I got. I'm sorry. Yeah, nope. I'm out of things to talk about. I'm brain dead. So I'm gonna take off, start photographing images of everything. I'm gonna just take my phone and be like, shaky cam, hoo. Potentially, I might use my other webcam I have up here to get some more stable images of things. We'll see. Yeah, I'm going to go make dinner, so I need to do that, and I will be back hopefully a month. We'll see how April goes for me. But thank you all for watching. Thanks. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so thank you very much for watching. You know what to do. Laters.